Have you ever seen something in the wild that just stops you in your tracks? Something so intense, so raw, that you can't look away? Well, get ready, because today we're diving into a story that's exactly that. It's a tale of predator and prey, of desperation and an unexpected hero. This isn't just another nature clip. It's a moment that raises big questions about our place in the wild. It all started on what seemed like a perfectly ordinary day. The sun was filtering through the trees. Birds were chirping. You know the scene. A beautiful, graceful deer was quietly grazing, completely unaware of the danger lurking just a few feet away. Hidden in the tall grass, a leopard, a perfect killing machine, was getting ready to pounce. Every muscle was coiled, every sense was heightened. For the leopard, this was about survival, a meal to sustain itself and maybe even its cubs. And then, it happened. In a blur of spotted fur and raw power, the leopard launched its attack. It was swift, it was brutal, and it was exactly what you'd expect from one of nature's most efficient predators. The deer let out a cry of panic, a sound that just cuts right through you. It tried to struggle, to fight back, but the leopard's grip was like iron. Its jaws were locked, and the deer's fate seemed sealed. It was a classic, albeit heartbreaking, scene from the circle of life. We've all seen it on documentaries, right? The narrator with the calm voice explains that this is just nature's way. But this time was different. This time, there was another player in the game, one that didn't belong. A man. We don't know his name, where he came from, or why he was there. Maybe he was a park ranger, a local villager, or just a tourist who happened to be in the wrong place at the right time. Or maybe the right place at the right time. He saw the struggle, he heard the deer's cries, and he was faced with a choice that most of us will never have to make. What would you do? Seriously, think about it. Do you let nature take its course, respecting the leopard's need to eat? Or do you intervene, driven by compassion for the suffering animal right in front of you? There's no easy answer. Intervening could mean robbing the leopard of a vital meal, potentially sentencing it or its young to starvation. On the other hand, standing by and watching an animal be torn apart feels, well, it feels wrong on a deeply human level. This man, our unexpected hero, didn't hesitate. Maybe it was instinct, maybe it was empathy, but he made his choice. He started yelling, waving his arms, making himself as big and as loud as possible. Now, let's pause and appreciate the sheer bravery or maybe foolishness of this act. He was approaching a hungry, powerful predator that had just secured its dinner. A leopard can turn on a human in a split second. This wasn't some house cat he was shooing away. This was a wild animal at its most primal. The leopard was clearly confused. Its moment of triumph was being interrupted by this loud, upright creature. It growled, a low, menacing sound that would send shivers down anyone's spine. It tried to drag its prey further into the bushes, away from the disturbance. But the man was persistent. He kept advancing, shouting, refusing to back down. He wasn't armed. He didn't have a weapon. All he had was his voice and his determination. This was a tense standoff, a battle of wills between man and beast. The leopard, a symbol of wild, untamed nature, and the man, a representative of humanity, with all our complex emotions and moral codes. The deer was still caught in the middle, its life hanging by a thread. The man took another step, and another, his shouts echoing through the quiet forest. And then, the unbelievable happened. The leopard, perhaps deciding the meal wasn't worth the hassle or the risk, let go. It released its grip on the deer. With one last frustrated snarl at the man, the predator vanished back into the undergrowth as silently as it had appeared. It was gone. The immediate danger had passed. But the story wasn't over. The deer was still lying on the ground, wounded and in shock. Its side was bleeding from the leopard's claws and teeth. It was trembling, its large, dark eyes wide with terror. It had survived the attack, but would it survive its injuries? The man slowly approached the deer. He spoke to it in a soft, calm voice, a stark contrast to the loud shouts he'd used just moments before. It was as if he was trying to apologize for the violence of the world, to offer some small comfort. He gently examined the wounds. They were serious, but maybe not fatal. He knew he had to do something. Leaving it there would just make it easy prey for another predator, or it could succumb to infection. So, he did something even more remarkable. He carefully, gently lifted the deer. This wasn't a small animal. It was a heavy, awkward weight, but he managed to get it into his arms. Imagine the scene: a man carrying an injured wild deer walking through the forest. It's like something out of a myth or a fairy tale. He carried it back to his vehicle, a small, dusty Jeep parked on a nearby dirt road. He carefully laid the deer in the back, making it as comfortable as possible. He had saved it from the leopard, but now a new race against time began, the race to get it medical help. He drove to the nearest animal rescue center or veterinary clinic. We see him explaining the situation, the urgency in his voice. The vets immediately get to work, cleaning the wounds, administering antibiotics, and doing everything they can to save the deer's life. The man waits, pacing anxiously. He formed a bond with this animal in that moment of crisis. Its fate was now intertwined with his. The next few days were critical. The deer was weak, but it was a fighter. And thanks to the timely intervention and the care it received, it began to recover. We see clips of its progress. First, lifting its head, then attempting to stand on shaky legs, and finally, eating the food provided by the rescuers. And through it all, the man was there, visiting, checking on its progress. It's an incredible display of compassion that crosses the species barrier. Finally, the day comes when the deer is fully healed. It's strong again. Its wounds have closed, and the wild spirit has returned to its eyes. It's time for it to go back home. The man, along with the rescue team, takes the deer back to the same area where he found it. They open the crate, and after a moment of hesitation, the deer steps out. It looks back at the man, a long, quiet look. Is it gratitude? Is it just confusion? We can't know for sure. But in that moment, there's a connection that everyone watching can feel. Then, with a flick of its tail, the deer bounds off into the forest, disappearing back into the world it belongs to. The man watches until it's gone. He doesn't say anything, but you can see the mix of emotions on his face. Relief, happiness, maybe a little bit of sadness to see it go. He did it. He intervened. He saved a life, and he successfully returned it to the wild. This story has sparked a huge debate online. On one side, you have people hailing this man as a hero. They see his actions as the ultimate act of kindness, a testament to the best parts of humanity. They argue that when we have the power to prevent suffering, we have a moral obligation to do so. On the other side, some people, including many wildlife experts, argue that he did the wrong thing. They say he interfered with a natural process. The leopard needed to eat, and by saving the deer, he may have condemned the leopard or its cubs to a slow death from starvation. They call it a Bambi complex, where our human emotions get in the way of understanding how ecosystems actually work. So where do you stand? Is he a hero or a meddler? It's a tough question. Nature is beautiful, but it's also brutal. The food chain is a reality. But when we witness an act of violence up close, our human instinct is often to protect the victim. This story forces us to confront that conflict within ourselves. There is no simple black or white answer here. It's a complex ethical dilemma, and what this man did was follow his conscience in a split-second decision. Perhaps the real takeaway isn't about judging his actions as right or wrong. Perhaps it's about the fact that he cared enough to act at all. In a world where so many people would just film on their phone or simply drive by, he got involved. He risked his own safety for another living being. And whether you agree with his choice or not, you have to admit that the world could use a little more of that empathy, that willingness to step up and help. What this story truly highlights is the powerful and often complicated relationship between humans and the natural world. It reminds us that our actions, even small ones, can have big consequences. It makes us think, it makes us talk, and hopefully, it makes us care a little bit more about the incredible creatures we share this planet with. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Was he right to save the deer? I'm really curious to hear your perspective on this. Thanks so much for watching today. If you found this story as compelling as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content that makes you think. We'll see you in the next one.